Bokamper in the right place at the right time.
Joe Rose, touchdown Miami!
All right, Joe, special guest. We always got special guests here.
Yeah, but this one.
We went all the way to the mountains of Montana, all the way up to God's country, Whitefish, Montana, to fish this guy out and get him on our podcast. I've been trying for months to get him on our podcast.
We don't have enough of this guy. We need a little Doug Betters
Needing
in our life.
more Doug Betters. Let's tell you a little bit about 6th-round draft pick with the Miami Dolphins. Came in with a van, got to open up the van. A lot of smoke came out, and then here came Doug out there. He was look.
We were doing so well, and you had to do that right off the bat.
1983 Defensive Player of the Year, a Dolphin Ring of Honor, and one of the greatest Dolphin football players of all time.
No doubt about it.
And one of the greatest guys to hang around. Doug was my running mate for a long time with the Dolphins. So let's welcome in the big man, Doug Betters. You used to have that big red hair, long red hair. He still got the hair, but it's not quite so red anymore. But hey, thanks for joining us, Doug.
I got to get to Joe's hairstyle. If I can do. I think there's enough time in this town to get my hair back to what it was. That's a long time ago, man. We're all out to pasture. I know, Bo, you got to be 7-0 now, aren't you?
No doubt.
You 7-0?
I'm close to 70. You're what, 68?
What are you, Joe? You 2 years behind us?
67. I'm just behind you.
So I'm not counting, but I'm about 45 days until I get to 70.
Couple of no Cowboys, man. Speaking all the way down from South Florida. Both of you guys made a name for yourself in the broadcast.
That's right.
The best part about listening to you guys, you're always laughing. You guys got the contagious laughter that just makes my heart. I get to listen to Joe in the morning if I get up that early.
Doug, it's great having you, man.
So, Doug, you started at the Reno, Nevada, and then you lost all your money in the slot machine, and then you went to Montana to finish the rest of your football. Give us a little background on your college escapades.
You did a little dyslexia thing there. I actually started in Montana and ended at Reno. I was one of the first transfer portal guys.
Oh, there you go.
I took off. We got a new head coach, and he fired off like 14 guys and got rid of all but one coach. And I followed John L. Smith to Reno. Got a job at out in Cal Neva over there by the the border by Verdi, California. Right up the road from you guys.
Yeah. Frank Sinatra's place.
I was a casino security guard. That means I used to go find a place to hide. One of our boosters owned a place, and it was a great cake job. And I went to summer school, got enough credits between seasons, and I played the next year with Reno, and we had a good time. We played a lot of Cali schools. Went to see UC Davis and San Luis Obispo and some of the other Riverside and some of those towns. San Francisco State, a real powerhouse in the Pacific Northwest.
Yeah.
But no, I was just right in you guys' country. It was a good time. And then Reno was a good move for me.
You come to the Dolphins, 6th-round pick. What were your thoughts when you came in and your chances of making the team? And, and just coming from – look, I came from the San Jose State. You came from, Reno and Montana. And we're kind of outliers out there. But so what were your thoughts coming in and trying to make this
Well, the first thing
team?
I thought about, I brought the wrong vehicle down. I got a 1978 Dodge van. No air conditioning, black, and 3-on-the-tree transmission. So you out to pasture guys all know what 3-on-the-tree means. Right. That's when you shift on the column. So I'm sweating like a mother in the traffic. Sweat's is dripping off my nose, driving on through rush hour traffic in there. And I'm going, I got to find a new ride. So I got a hold of Garrow, man. Garrow had a deal with a dealership there. Me and Wally Pursuit, Dirty Wally, Garrow, and I went to a dealership to sign some footballs, and we got a card. And I got a damn Caprice Classic. And old Garrow got a vet, but I parked that van for the rest of the year until I got out. But funny story about Garrow, man. Garrow is that, he was the ultimate schemer. We're sitting in a hot tub on a day off, and the freaking kicker's in there. I don't know what the fuck he's doing in the hot tub. But he's in there. Garrow's in there taking up one of the 5 places we have in that big, roomy, nice hot tub in there, And he's got his jewelry on. He's got his watch on. He's got gold chains, bracelet on there. And we're sitting there, and we're all listening to Garrow because he's been there, and a couple other rookies or young guys in there. So this guy walks in. I don't know where he came from. He came through Danny Dow's room, and he goes, "Hey, Garrow, can I talk to you?" He goes, "What's up?" He goes, "I got this thing. It's called a pager. I was wondering, can you help me endorse this?" Carol goes, what do you mean? He goes, you make a phone call, this thing zips, give you a number, you call and call a pager. It's the next greatest thing going. He goes, well, I don't know. He goes, how much are you going to pay me? He goes, I don't have any money, man. I spent all my money. And he goes, how about that watch? He goes, what do you mean? He goes, your watch. You got a nice watch there. Let me look at that. So the guy takes his watch off. Carol's in the hot tub with the bubbles going on, looking at it, and he goes, puts it on his wrist, goes, okay, I'll do it. Talk to me a couple hours when I get out of here. Like, get the fuck out of here. How do you get in here anyway? Who let you in? But then I got in and I thought, man, there's no way I'm going to make this team. There's a AJ Dewey, and Baumhauer. I got drafted the year before, 1 and 2 picks, and Vern Denner, the captain of the team, and there was a guy, Lyman Smith, that came in front of me, the 3rd round pick out of somewhere. And, I didn't look good. So I'm laying around doing the stretching in the morning. Go like, I'll just sell my van, buy a Harley, and just drive around for a while. I got my $1,300. I got my $8,000 travel, signing bonus. Came out to be, I'm supposed to get 12. I got 8,800. I called the Dolphins. I go, what the hell? $8,800 signing bonus? He goes, how do I lose this? He goes, just show up. You got your money. You don't have to give it back. I go, okay, I can live off this for a couple of years, man. $8,000. My agent called me. He goes, hey, you owe me $3,000. Okay, now I'm down to $5,600. Then the school calls. Hey, you got a student loan. They find out, got the money coming. Now you're down to like 46. Then I'm going to say goodbye to my dad on the way down. He goes, okay, I'm going down to work. He goes, okay, have good luck and all that. And he goes, hey, by the way, come in here for a minute. Takes me into the Ward Cleaver den, pulls out his little tablet. He goes, remember all those times you used to call asking for money in college? I go, yeah. He goes, you owe me $1,800. You go, what? He goes like, I'm down to like $3,200. This is like in 72 hours. And I'm going, well, my mom's in there too. And he goes like, well, you don't have to pay that right now. He goes, my dad goes, yeah, why don't we just take care of this now? So put that down, and I'm down to like $3,000. So I'm down there, making down in Florida. I'm sitting there thinking, no way. But my coach told me a good thing. He said, every play like it's your last one, because, it might be. So I get in there and I start working, and he got some, actually he told me, don't come back here with your tail between your legs. He goes, don't go down there and shit in your lunchbox. Come back here with your tail between your legs. Don't make me proud. Play every play like it's last. And one of the early plays in training camp, I knocked Larry Little on his ass when he wasn't looking. And from then on in, I thought, maybe I can play in this game. And after dealing with Larry for a couple of days, and I'm too old to be fucking with motherfucker, and all this, real. So he was, grabbing my throat, poke me in the eyes, trying to kick me in the balls and stuff for the first time. I just rope a dope. I go, hey man, I'm just trying to make this team. He goes, yeah, I know, you all right, but don't make me look bad, man. Don't ever do that again. Don't ever do that again. So Rook, he goes, Rook, one from Jackson State, and Larry Little from Bethune-Cookman. And I asked Larry, where's he from? He goes, where'd you go to school? He goes, Bethune-Cookman, motherfucker. I go, is that Bethune-Cookman motherfucking university or the University of College? Oh, Bethune-Cookman motherfucker. I'm more famous Miss Bethune too. I'm from Daytona Beach. That's where I come from. Then like I said, I got a chance to play early. AJ got hurt. I got to play a preseason, and then got a few things to go right there, and then play at the beginning of the first 4 games of the regular season. Then I figured, okay, 8 games, we're done, man. That's one full college season. You go like, no, you got 12 more to go, 12 more games. That's when it really hit home how long a season we have.
Well, those days are gone for sure now. The different game, but I got to ask you, man, the Killer Bees. You play in 2 Super Bowls. You're defensive player of the year when we had a really, really good football team. As you look back at it, and the Killer Bees, I got to ask you, that thing, kind of all you guys, obviously, your last name started with a B, but you guys were damn good. That's why it was such a – how much fun was it to be part of that Killer Bee run that they had, and you guys were so good defensively?
Yeah, we took a lot of pride in that. Of course, Arnsparger was the man. He did really I heard him speak one time about how he schemed it. If everybody would be unselfish and not worry about who gets the credit, that he could win with 11 guys and put a good product on the field. And I think that's what it was about. We were all in it together. There was nobody that was really the star player. We were all pretty equal. And of course, with Shula, he makes that really easy. We know that it's Don Shula in the Miami Dolphins, and not necessarily the team that's behind him. But It, I remember one time coming in after a Monday night football game when we got our ass kicked by somebody, and on Tuesday he comes up, he starts his talk in front of everybody. You know, it's going to everybody just sliding lower and lower in our little desk, trying to get as small as we could be so he wouldn't look at you. And he goes like, "How the fuck can you guys make me embarrass me like you did last night? I mean, the whole country's watching, and you guys embarrassed me like that on national TV." We're like, "Dude, we were trying as hard as you were too, man. We're a little embarrassed too." He goes, yeah, it was. So I think everybody knew that Don was the star of the show, and we were all kind of the subordinates. And I think it went good because we were all kind of the little peons, and we all kind of just played together. And the thing about now, I see with training camp and these veteran days off and stuff like that. If I missed it, if I got hurt and missed a practice, or Bo missed a practice, we'd be pissed at each other. Go, "What the fuck are you doing that for? Now I got to pick up for your plays." You guys are.
Yeah.
So you were there for your guys, and I think that really built that camaraderie, and we won it together. As far as playing now in these preseason games too, I mean, guys, we were playing. I think we played probably a half our first game. I went in with a Hall of Fame game, and I think the veterans were playing, pretty much a half and then 3/4 on the next game. And we were playing full game by the end of the preseason, if I'm not mistaken, because you had one of us all ready to go by the beginning of the season. So definitely different, whether or not it's.
Yeah, I always remember the last preseason game. We'd play the whole game.
Yeah, you did too. I mean, think about it. We're doing, before we go to Super Bowl, we're doing short yardage and goal line, full contact. I mean, it's crazy stuff.
Yeah, that's right.
No, I just remember one time going out there before practice, and I was trying to kiss up a little bit and sew shoes. I was doing some extra work and stuff, and I got to know Bruce real well, Hardy, and he was a 9th round pick, and we kind of hung out together. But he was doing long snapping. He goes, "Patterson, come over here for a minute." He goes, "Yeah, coach." He goes like, "Go unload on Hardy when he's snapping the ball." Here we are before practice. So, like he's doing the long snaps, and I'm supposed to, so I run into him. I do a kind of a cursory run into him at first. He goes, "No, fucking hit him, man. Hit him like it's a game time." He goes, "Practice." He even started, man. He lets me, goes like, "Go ahead, then." He goes like, so I do a little hard. He goes like, No, come on, don't be a pussy. Fucking hit him. So I'm like, Bruce is like rolling his eyes out. Okay, now I've got to actually do it. So yeah, then we start. Then practice starts. So I mean, it's just kind of a crazy world it was then. But it's we talk about the old days, and I remember Mike Moscari, Bo, our defensive line coach, center of 190 pounds, 5'10" linebacker and offensive center for Otto Graham in the 1956 Cleveland Browns. And they were talking about money back in those days. I mean, and what those guys had to do to, they didn't get paid, they got hurt, and making $500 for the season. So he thought we were just getting insane money when we were getting $30,000. So it's all kind of relevant. I don't know if it jumped quite the incrementals that it did for us.
Yeah.
These guys are. You talk about guys making more than one game.
Hey, Doug. So one of the things that I think was fortunate for us in our era, both offense, defense, the whole team, there was no free agency, very few trades, and so like you and I played together for 7 years, and you play with guys for the duration of your career, and you got to know everybody, you got to know their families. We traveled, we went out as teammates together all the time, and really the bond that you built with those over a decade of playing in the NFL. Look, we're still friends today and still talk and everything. But I don't think the guys that are playing nowadays understand just how good it was to be able to play in that kind of situation. Well, now it's kind of like mercenary football, but playing with guys for a long duration of time was really special.
It certainly was. And you think about it, we made the playoffs, 8 of the 10 years I was there, if I remember correctly, and that was a big part of it, that cohesiveness, and knowing, like you think about an offensive line that has been together for that many years, especially, and defensive line, a little bit different of the concept, but we don't have to. We just want to go up there and throw the wrench in the works and just fuck everything up. Where offensive linemen are trying to build something nice and a nice perfect offensive play, but yeah, having that camaraderie and having the knowing each other and having a social part of it for sure. We had a lot of fun.
Yeah, well, there was a lot of fun to be had between back then Coconut Grove and Fort Lauderdale. There was a lot of fun to be had during that time, and boy, we spent a lot of time. I enjoyed the most after weigh-in that night. Everybody after practice go down, and everybody sat around and had beers. There'd be 15 or 20 guys on our team sitting there drinking cold beer, telling stories, usually about Coach Shula. But it was a great time, man. Just a whole bunch of guys on the team.
Go to Lums and get some pepperoncinos and some ice mugs right there.
That's right.
The ultimate storyteller, the Don Strock. With our ultimate storyteller, Don, you guys are number 2 and 3, but Stroker had the stories, man. We would just sit by his feet and listen to him. Then we come back to we go back to the cafeteria and have a little bit of a buzz on for our cafeteria dinner there. That was not quite the training table they have today, I don't believe.
Doug, I got to tell you, just jumping ahead, I know Bo and I have talked about, I think a lot of your former teammates do, you going through the accident that you went through, and you have been so friggin' positive and live life to the most, whether you're in Montana, back here in Florida. I think it's been a real inspiration there, brother, what you've done through the years.
Well, you got to do. I know, Bo, we were talking about not being able to golf again, and I understand that, and how you got to focus on what you can do, and not worry about what you can't do. And that was kind of, I got all that taken away in a blink of an eye. We couldn't do a lot of things you could do before, and that was tough. But I got Dr. Green down at Miami Project. Early on, I was trying to kind of whining a little bit and kind of do a little pity party thing going on. He says, you can either do one or two things. You can either go blow your brains out, or you can move forward. Tell me what you're going to do, because I don't want to waste my time. And of course, I never really went to the dark side. I always I thought about somebody's always worse off than me. And when people tell you you're an inspiration, that usually means it because you're worse off than they are. They say, how can I be depressed or whiny because I got a bad knee or something, and they look at me and I'm rolling. But in my situation, I'm a quadriplegic, but I can drive, I can dress myself, I can eat, I can do everything. I can live independently. Some of these guys, like Nick's son, Mark Bonacani, and Superman Reeves. Those guys, they couldn't scratch their nose. I know a guy up here in Montana is a cop that got shot in a real freak little accident, and he's the same way, real high level quad, and he just kept his attitude up. And I go, man, if this guy can, keep his attitude and he can keep smiling and moving forward with what he's got to deal with, I've really got it pretty good. So it can always be worse. Really weird thing happened to me though. 2 years before I wrecked, I was skiing with a buddy of mine in about the same place, close to where I had my accident. And this guy was a stud. He played for the Montana State Bobcats, and he was a fullback that took two Grizzlies over the end zone with a dislocated shoulder, and just a stud. And he used to build recurve bows and go hunting. He shot Cape buffalo and grizzly bears and stuff with his bow. And we were out skiing one day, recreational skiing, and we went back in this kind of steep part, and he slid and slammed into a tree, and I went down to help him out, and I thought he got knocked out or broke his leg, but he's dead. It never did. I did my Boy Scout stuff and CPR and everything. Wow. Anything short of a defibrillator, he wasn't going to come back. And after the autopsy shows we did everything we could, all his family members were going, that Paul's better off dead than being in a chair. And I never knew anybody in a wheelchair before, and that would suck. I'd hate to have that situation too. And then 2 years later, I wreck and I roll. So that's just kind of fickle finger of fate, I guess. But things, a lot of things happen for a reason. And I met Jennifer, my wife, after my wreck, and I told her many times, I go, man, I wish I would have known you, before I crashed. Because I probably had nothing to do with you. You're probably a real asshole before that, and this has made you a lot more. She's a very astute girl.
That was a great call by her.
It is true though, because I learned a lot of lessons. And patience was one of them, humility, and just gotta appreciate what you got. And I know as we grow older, we see more and more people falling down and not being able to get up, and that's their battle a lot of times, because they do take it for like, that's it, I can't do it anymore. So you got to keep it. Like, I listen to Larry's broadcast with you guys, and I see Geisler quite a bit down there in New Smyrna Beach, and there's some of these guys that are, and Steve Toll. Yeah. A lot of these guys are supposed to, especially Geisler and stuff. But we talked about our heart issues and stuff. We all got that going on, but it seems like, those guys are, look at Larry, man. He still gets up, and here he's 10 years older than us, man, 78 years old or something. He's still just, he gets out and does it, and his brain is great. Cognitively, he's completely there, and we get to see him quite a bit. And he's a real inspiration to me.
Yeah,
It's great.
Doug, you were an active. You're a skier. You jump out of helicopters and ski. You flew your own airplane. Avid fisherman, avid hunter, and after your accident, you continue to find ways to do the things that you love to do, and that's one of the things I've always admired about you. You just found a way to do the things and keep your life as much as you had it before with whichever way you can get it done.
I did. I became a little bit of a mechanical engineer, trying to get my big ass in the airplane or into the boat or whatever I was doing, and a lot of coming up with gizmos and cranks and cranes and stuff like that to get me in. And it takes a little bit of tenacity, and that's that word I learned from most scary. You got to keep after it, and you can't settle for, you just can't settle for, I guess I can't fish anymore. I go, why can't you fish? I go, well, I got to get in a boat. Well, how do I get in a boat? That's not easy. So you got to figure out, but it's not impossible. Yeah. So, the same thing about flying. That was one I really loved and still do a little bit of. I'm not doing as much anymore, but that was my greatest pleasure. And I took a lot of pride in my flying, and that I was, I flew out here in Montana, in the mountains, and landed on some grass strips back in the wilderness areas and stuff. And you see a lot of, if I didn't, anything I thought in motorcycles, some of those activities, if I thought was going to punch my ticket, I'd be one of those, but not out recreational skiing one day. But anyways, I found a way to get a hair control for the airplane. I got to fly that after my accident. And then, like I said, I got to do a little hunting, and still get out on the water when I can, and do whatever you can. Right now, what I do is, my form of exercise and movement, which I think we've all talked about, you got to keep moving and keep that, keep out of the pasture, as we speak. But mine is, since I have my upper body, my shoulders, and my arms to work, I got a crank, I got a bike, like a wheel I hook onto the front of my chair. I get down in New Smyrna, I have it right in the garage. I just hook it on, grab my dog, he hooks onto my push rail, and we go out tripping around that little beach town. And that's a lot of fun. But I get some exercise from that, get movement, and I really feel the difference when I don't get that. So I know you always feel better when you work out. When you get that sweat up, like I heard Joe was talking about earlier today, you get out and sweated yesterday for your tennis match. You know how good that feels when you're done to be able to get that sweat on. That's one thing I really do miss, because right now as a quad, we really can't. I can't really sweat. Never really get to that point because my heart rate can't support a high enough heart rate to really get a sweat up. But I really do miss that part of not really, getting cleaned out, and after a night of having a few cocktails and then go work out and get all that crap out of your body and feel a little bit better. You can go out and lubricate and get your liquids back into play.
I love during the time when you were at the peak and one of the best players in the NFL, and it became Coach Shula started wanting guys to stay in the off season in South Florida. He kind of wanted, hey, we're going to pay a little bit of money. I think it was like $200 a week, but want you around, and you go, hey, Coach, man. I love that story. He came up to you and go, hey, Coach, listen, I'm going to Montana, man, just like I do. And, Doug, here we are. All these years later, brother, you're still in Montana. It's great. I think of that story with Coach Shula. No, Coach,
well, I was talking to Kozlowski, and Kozlowski's he's a Polak that was born in California, but he's Samoan. So if he's in California, he says he's from Samoa. If he's in Samoa, he says he's from Jersey.
Polish Samoan, the only Polish Samoan I've ever met in my life.
And if he's in Samoa, he says
he was cousins with
everybody.
Cousins with every Samoan on the field.
Well, that's not too far off, actually. But then when he's in Samoa, he says he's from Jersey or whatever, But me and Kaz is doing his, his surfer boy talk like he does, I go, bitch. Next, and this one of the seasons we did make the playoffs. And it's miserable being with Shula when you're not, when you're losing. And we didn't lose that much, but I can't imagine going 2-14 or something with shoes. I don't know what that would have been. Can you imagine?
Oh, no.
There would have been a couple of people just thinking, saying, fuck this, I'm out. But so Kaz and me were sitting there talking. One of the last, like I said, towards the end of the season, and Shula he just pissed off the whole time. He's walking around that complex just mad at the world. Just looking at somebody that, to take it out on. So me and Kaz are sitting in the locker room. Kaz going like, bitch, I'm going to be skiing knee-deep powder next week back in Colorado. And I go, and I play along right with him. Man, I'll be up to my waist in powder, man. And I'm going to be pitching, I'll be skiing and out there in the woods and talking. And he likes fine. He hears us talking and kind of laughing a little bit. He goes like, nobody should be laughing. We're doing 8-6 or 6-8 or whatever the hell we were. He goes like, he goes, better. You're sticking around this offseason, right? And Kaz chimes in and goes, no, coach, he's going to do the high altitude training program. And he goes like, and Sheila looks at me and goes, better. She goes, you fucked around last year and didn't get nothing done. I think you're going to learn something by it. You're going to stick in town. He goes like, no, coach, I got to go back and finish my college degree. I still have a couple of credits left. But I'd love to be here for the off season, but my education comes first, you know. And he goes, and I did have that loophole. I did have a couple credits I needed, so I said, I'm going to go back and finish my degree. You never know how long football is going to last, coach. But yeah, thanks, Kaz, after that. He goes, thanks, Kaz. The timely little high altitude training program. But it's all good.
So Doug, I've known you for a long time, and we've had a lot of conversations, and I've never asked you this question because I knew you always went back to Montana. Did you ever lift a weight when you were back there? Because I don't believe you ever lifted weight. I think you were just a country strong guy that you may have walked through the weight room a little bit, but I'm not sure you threw down on that bench and started doing 350 or trying to get to that point. So end that mystery for me.
I knew where the weight room was. I didn't know it. I didn't go through there. Actually,
you knew where it was.
No, I actually had a guy up here that had a gym that I worked out with, probably the most serious, and he helped out a lot with that. He was actually the original Steve Reeves, the Tarzan, was from Glasgow, Montana. He was about 60 back in the day. We see 68's old. This guy was probably more like in his 70s, but he came out to help this guy open his gym. And he was, he was like one of the, celebrities or whatever at the opening. And this guy used to tow boats with his teeth and crap like that, put 6 girls on his back. You know how the old guys used to do the strongman shit.
Yeah.
And this guy said, come on, work out with me 1 week, one season, and eat a banana at every halftime. You'll be the best player ever. Like, what the banana got to do with it? He said, you need your potassium. Okay. So he said, we're going to do legs one day. He goes, okay. He goes, we're only going to do one exercise. But I go, okay, I'll do that. We're doing a leg press. And he started small with small weights and moved up and went back down. But I didn't realize we're going to do 225 reps of these freaking little exercises, So after about 2 hours of dealing with this thing, I couldn't even walk. Here's this old guy doing the same thing with me. But that's I never was a gym rat. But one of the reasons too is that at 6'8", you see these little guys with like Cooch and some of these little guys with a barrel chest, and they've got like 34, 32-inch arms. Man, my sleeves are 37 inches. I got to push the bench about, a mile off my chest. These guys did it.
Yeah, I agree with that. I agree with that. Long arms, it's harder to bench press. Those guys got little squat arms. They move the weight about 10 inches.
Bouncing. They do that little bounce.
I don't know. Doug was strong for not lifting weight. Doug was strong.
I did do that more. I did stuff. I didn't do the weight. I didn't do the bench press stuff. I did the other stuff that would work. I didn't do shoulder stuff, and you didn't pick up stuff. You're right.
You picked up logs and moved. You did that. You moved logs and stuff like that.
We burned like up to 10 cords of firewood. So I go back up and cut and split and stack that stuff up. So yeah, that takes some work. And gun hunting, we go. I shot a mule deer one time. I went down a little ravine. It was a big deer too, and couldn't get it up. We used to have like a wire. We had some baling wire, a big wire, bob wires that we have in the guy's truck, and we could usually tag onto the deer with that and drag it up these coulees, which are about 200-300 feet deep. Well, he wasn't around anywhere, so I was by myself. I killed this deer and field dressed it out, and I had to like put the thing over my shoulders and hold on to both legs and crawl up this freaking, up the side of this hill. And I had to stop every once in a while, throw this thing off my back and sit there about ready to puke. It was working so hard. But finally, about 2 hours later, I get to the top of this hill, and here's my buddy that shows up. Where the hell were you about 2 hours ago? He goes, I was just over on the other side watching you. I thought you were doing a good job by yourself. And I could have been there with that wire in that truck and pull me up. So you do stuff like that. You work, and did some construction and build and things. So you can do things like that keep you, I see a lot of real strong guys that don't lift any weights. But yeah, I never really was a gym rat. Like you and Joe Rose. You guys are Cali boys, man. You got to be looking in the mirror.
Yeah, that's right. We're in there all the time.
Yeah,
I always got turned off when I saw the mirrors, all the mirrors in the place. That's what I was going like, what the fuck are you looking at? Everybody's going to check out my site. I mean, I probably used that F word up too much.
That's all right.
No, you haven't done enough. I thought you were in for a lot more.
After your accident in 1998, you went on to start doing you started the Doug Betters for the Children Foundation. You used to do a big winter festival up in Montana, bring a lot of people up there, raise a lot of money for the children around the area, and you really committed yourself to to doing something to better your community and and all the kids up there. Tell us a little bit about what got you into that and how it was, because it was unique, and you get all these guys to come up because instead of being a golf tournament, they're coming up to ski and drink alcohol and get crazy and do all that kind of stuff.
Yeah,
and it was a very unique event that you put together.
Actually, I started it before my wreck. I did it in '84 when I first started it. And I was actually down in Steamboat Springs skiing, and there was a thing called the Cowboy Downhill. And Billy Kidd, who was an Olympic skier, that was his home ski base. And he did this event where they had these a big rodeo in Denver, and they flew these cowboys up, bull riders mainly, up to Steamboat, and they did this thing called this Cowboy Downhill. And that's what these guys were, bull riders are crazy. They're not scared of anything. So these guys had their hats on and their chaps on, and they put skis on, and they run them down through the ski course, go over a little jump, and these guys are crashing and burning. They just jump up, and nothing hurts these guys. But at the end of it, they got to throw a rope over. With their skis on, they throw a saddle on a horse. Then they rope a girl first. They have a girl stand there. They rope her, and they drop that rope, and then go put a saddle on a horse. And it was good humor watching these people. One of those last guys, he's from Brooklyn, a bull rider. He goes out there, he gets to the bottom of it, he lassos this gal, pulls him up, gives her a big old kiss. Then he goes over to the horse, kicks off his skis, grabs the horse away from the guy that's holding it, jumps in and starts galloping across the ski area. People are going crazy, and it's good audience thing. So I said, we got to do a version of this. Bring in some players in and have kind of a Cowboy Downhill. So we adapted, and the guy that helped me with it was from used to work with Apple Records and did a lot of promotions on other things. Because I want to do big guys. And I go, well, most of the guys I play with are big guys, but offensive linemen, we'll have them with little kids, and that'd be good, good photo ops and that sort of thing. But as we're doing this thing, I go, well, we don't just do this and have not all about just about us. There's a lot of people in need, and I've had people come up to me all the time asking, can you loan me, can you give me a jersey for an auction, or can you buy some tickets or raffle, or is there anything you can give me, help out with this fundraiser? And I thought it'd be better off to have the funds available beforehand, so these people don't have to. You need a pair of snow tires to get over the mountain to get their kid to a good hospital, because Whitefitch didn't have it. So instead of having to do a spaghetti feed to get a pair of snow tires and gas money, thought we'd have the money in the kitty already, and they could just come to us and we can help them out right now. So that's what we're doing now. Jennifer's our executive director. We've still been going for over 30 years. We've had a lot of guys out in the town. I've been Merlin Olson, Steve Young's been there. We've had a lot of guys that've been there. Bo's been invited every time. He said, I'm going out to the cold place because I don't do anything in the cold weather. And I was invited.
Yeah.
Stop came out a few times. Crash came out a bunch of times. Boza came out. We had Kaz, of course, came out with us. But we had a lot of fun with it. But it was a 3-day weekend. We played a basketball game against the firemen. And then we had a ski day. One day we went to visit kids in the classrooms. And I knew we kind of saturated the market when we brought 4 NFL players into this little school in Kalispell, Montana. These kids are sitting there, push the walls back, so they have all 3 of the 4th grade rooms are together. And we walk in and we're telling them what we're into, and we tell them what team we play for. One of the kid in the back room goes who's plays for anybody for the Broncos? He goes, no, we got the Steelers, da 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 da. No Broncos. He goes, I really like the Broncos. They were here last week, so yeah, you guys. I don't care about you guys. You know, this little shit. We got fucking 4 NFL players in this classroom. And you going like, no, I ain't gonna pay attention to the Bronco player. So I'm saying, we're saturating this market a little bit with getting fed. So instead of bringing the guys to the school, which they were hating because they wanted to go out and play, but Jan Stenerud, he gave me the biggest hard time about it. He didn't want to go to. He didn't want to go to the classes. He wanted to go skiing. So we finally kind of brought the kids to the mountains so they could come up and get autographs. And then we had a big dinner, and then we had a champagne brunch. And 4-day event. We raised money for about 30 years. The last one we did was our last event was like a Play 60 event in 2016. Actually, we had Eddie DeBartolo lives up in our country, and the owner of the 49ers. And I asked, he wanted to get involved with it. You don't really turn down a billionaire's help. So I said, well, we're kind of done with the event, but he's, well, I'm going to, what can I do? I go, well, we kind of have a problem getting talent here. I was calling these guys that were like kickers and, backups, and they go, no, I can't make it. And then I finally got to trying to get talent out. Was getting to be kind of a pain in the ass. So I go like, I said, if you really want to help, I need to get some players. He goes, well, I can get some players for you. I go, okay, yeah, sure. When do you want to do it? I said, well, okay, June 16th. Okay, does that works for you? Somewhere in that time. I go, okay, June 16th. He gets back to me a little bit later. He goes like, okay, I got some guys for you. I go, okay. I got Ronnie Lott, Jerry Rice, Roger Craig, and Dwight Clark. They'll be here for the day. I go, okay, wow, that'll work. So Eddie chartered a jet, brought those guys up. We had them for the afternoon of a Play 60 event. And they were great. I mean, David Craig is one of the nicest guys. Not David Craig, Roger Craig, right? Running back for the about the 49ers. My producer's showing me a note telling me to shut the fuck up. No, my wife is just signaling. I'm talking too much. But no, anyway, that was the last event we had. But we have enough money. We gave our foundation. It's managed by a bigger foundation in town called the Whitefish Communities Foundation. They've been able to invest our money pretty wisely, and so every year we've just basically been distribute our dividends and been able to keep our principal in the account. So we've been giving out. We are statewide now. Any kid under 18 that's in the state of Montana that has needs, we have an application basis, and they can go to our website. It's Doug Betters for the Children. Again, it's just for Montana kids, so there's probably not a lot of people in your neck of the woods, but it's very gratifying. We've been able to help out a lot of people and families, and it's been very a nice legacy to have.
Doug, I can tell you, man, it's nice to see you doing so well, brother. We don't get to see you enough down here, except a little bit during football season.
Yeah, you guys got cool.
Hey, Doug, let me, so our program here out to Pasture, we were trying to help people that are aging and the difficulties they're facing. And for our listeners who may be confined to a chair, what advice would you give to them about staying active, managing the aging process, when they may have difficult challenges that they face with the circumstances that they're
First
in?
off, marry a young wife. Get that going for you. And then, hang around with older people, because then that'll make you feel younger. And ugly people, that usually helps too. So older ugly people to start around to hang out with.
There you go.
No, seriously, I think you just got to concentrate on what you can do, and not worry about what you can't do. What the activities you've lost that you haven't, you can't do the same level. I mean, you can still, as far as like you, Bo, not be able to swing the golf club, you can still get on a golf cart and go hang out with the boys and spend the afternoon out there with them. And then when you're done with it, you can just go in to pick.
Yep.
And then, and then also, be creative on what kind of activities there are out there, because there's a lot of people that you can't get the impact of get in a swimming pool and do of course walking is always the best, and see a lot of people that go out and get shelter pets and use that. For a lot of people have been saved by their shelter pets. They don't say who saves who when you get a shelter dog for it. So that's a good way of motivating you if you have a hard time want to get out and even walk, grab a dog because they want to walk every day. Find out other things that are available to do is kind of guys that can't play tennis anymore, they can do that pickleball thing, Joe. I know you're a big fan of the pickleball.
That's next. Yeah, huge.
I mean, and it's, it must be, it's got to be a lot of fun because enough people doing it anymore. But there's just other things that you got to be, like I say, got to be creative at it, and you can't be down about it. You just got to be thankful with what you have, and you get to be I talked to Larry about this, Larry Zonka, about we were talking about, man, I'm 68, and he said, yeah, I'm 78. He goes, man, I never thought I'd get this old. He said, neither do I. He said, I remember when I was talking to my granddad one time. He said, how old are you anyway? He goes, I'm 64. And he's going like, yeah, man, I can't believe you're still alive and 64 years old. Now people are. My dad passed at 93 last year. I mean, people are living, so on. I think it's amazing how much life we have and how good a healthcare we have and how good nutrition and everything. So people are living a lot longer, and you got to stay. You can't let that age creep up and dictate what you're going to do.
Doug, thank you, my
Thanks,
man.
Doug.
Always a pleasure, brother.
Thank you, man.
Hey, so look, we're going to end it up here. But look, if you want to keep going here with us, if you like what you're doing, please subscribe to our YouTube channel or follow us on your favorite podcast and streaming platform. And oh, by the way, check out our shirts. We got the new collection,
nice.
Out to Pasture shirts. Our friends at Scales are our new wardrobe sponsor. And if you want some Scales and stuff, we're gonna have some opportunities for you to buy some stuff with a discount and everything. So we'll get to that. But if you see Scales, these things are comfortable, man. Try them on. You'll love them. And I hope you love our podcast. We'll see you next time on Out to Pasture.